Welcome back, Mr. Goodberry. The First Star Logistics studio is fully equipped and ready to record.
Welcome back to Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. I'm your host, Joe Goodberry. This is episode 197 as preseason has kicked off. I did a recap show of the Eagles-Bengals game, my first reaction. That was out on Friday. It was a late in the week game last week. And typically it would be on either Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night. So if you're new here, Tuesday following the game is our film review. And that's what we're going to do today. So I've saved some of this. And, as I watch the film, I'm like, okay, I want to talk about these things, this thing, that thing. And I think this episode is largely going to focus because we have 2 episodes before the next game because there's such a span between the first preseason game and the second preseason game. The next Tuesday's episode will be following the game on Monday night, which will just be a reaction again to that because it's such a short turnaround that time, similar to the Thursday night game last week. But I think we're going to focus on 3 key areas on the offensive line in this film review. Number 1, Dylan Fairchild. He looked great. I thought he looked good while watching live. Didn't really notice him negatively, and that's all I asked for, right? I noticed the run game looked a little bit better. And I'm like, man, they're turning out a little positive yardage here. Everything looks to be flowing and better synchronization across the offensive line. I didn't attribute that to Fairchild. When I watched the film, though, I was like, Fairchild's blocking. He's run blocking. And I thought he looked much improved. We've highlighted him a bunch so far this camp of how much his hand usage looks better. So we're going to focus on him, watch all of his snaps, of course. But there's 2 other guys that deserve the time to watch as well. One, Amarius Mims for the year 2 leap, right? We want to know how good he can be. Because if he is a top 10 right tackle in 2025, that's huge for the Bengals. And I don't think that's a far step. If he's a top 5 right tackle, I mean, that gets you excited. The offense is loaded at that point, even with issues on the offensive line. Dylan Fairchild, if he's even solid as a rookie this year, if he's good as a rookie, whoa, hold me back. And then the other one we're going to watch, because these are all the same plays, so we'll watch them 3 times over each time. 18 reps, I want to say. 16 real reps, 18 total because there were some penalties. Lucas Patrick at right guard. And there's a whole conversation there because there was always supposed to be some competition at right guard. I wasn't excited about it, but I thought maybe Cordell Bolson, Cody Ford, Lucas Patrick, figure out which guy can be your guy. And then you see, and I'm thinking like Cody Ford's going to end up being the swing tackle because Jalen Rivers has not looked good there. I think on 2 episodes ago, we were like, yeah, Rivers in practice is not looking good at tackle. And then he has his game, does not look good at tackle. The immediate practice afterwards, Cody Ford's back at swing and Jalen Rivers is at guard. So now is the competition over? Is Cody Ford out of the right guard competition because they need a good swing tackle? Or are they just making sure they give everyone time? Because Ford's the first guy off the bench out of 4 out of 5 positions. Either way, we're not going to be able to answer that today in today's film review. So let's see how Lucas Patrick did because he did not grade well from PFF. Amarius Mims graded average and Dylan Fairchild graded great. So let's dive into the film, preseason film, and get our first look at Fairchild and the running mates next to him. So first snap is set up here. I'm going to try and figure out how to do this because I never have done this live before. First of all, we're using the Pro app, which typically I did not use in seasons past. I did in pinches, but typically I got the film from other means. But we're going to try to do it this way. And they said the app is better and that everything works better. So we're going to try that. In each play sequence, we're going to go from Dylan Fairchild to Lucas Patrick and then to Amarius Mims. So we're going to watch the play over 3 times in a row. The first time is going to be Fairchild. Second time will be Patrick. And then the third time will be Amarius Mims. Make sense? All right. So Dylan Fairchild first at left guard here. He is going to block. I think that's Ty Robinson. Is it Tyler? Ty Robinson. Nebraska as the run. We're going to see this a lot out of the Bengals. The lead blocker, the H-back is up ahead of Joe Burrow, and they will sometimes bring this guy here and then follow the lead blocker. None of that really matters. We can do X's and O's another time. But the idea for Fairchild here is as he's blocking Robinson, The run is eventually going to come this way for him. So he's kind of standing him up at first. And then as Robinson goes for the tackle, you're going to watch Fairchild really start to drive him afterwards, which is nice. So we got a kind of a double team there, just in punch, just to make sure Karras has him at bay. We are the low man here with Fairchild. I really like that. He looks like he's really driving until, and again, I think that's Robinson 95. I don't know for the Eagles. He was a guy we talked about. I thought the Bengals should draft him at some point as an interior rusher. But as the run starts going this way, and you see right away, Chase Brown takes the handoff here, and then he wants to hit this outside hole here. Yoshi's going to come up and try and get Sidney Brown. Everything should be blocked up, right? Watch Fairchild as he is going to battle and almost lose this right here. So as he's about to lose it, and I would say at that point, it was a neutral battle to a loss. Fairchild is going to keep driving. So at this point here, him getting in there and keep pushing and pushing and pushing allows maybe to get a yard or two out of it, right? So I'm going to go back now, and we're going to go back to Lucas Patrick. Lucas Patrick has number 96 here at defensive tackle. Patrick, again, comes out firing. Low man there, gets lifted out of the spot, but never really loses his positioning. And what I mean is if the defender's here and the lineman's here, we're in good position. The run's going this way. We want to keep the defender on this side of this line. So you never leave. As long as your butt's pointing to the running back, we're in good shape. And he holds up just long enough there. That's all we really need out of Lucas Patrick for that play in particular. Now outside to Amarius Mims, he's blocking 0. Again, as the play is going away from him, so their responsibilities here are a little bit less. You just want to not absolutely get smoked off the line or give up an easy win to the defensive lineman and leave him unblocked. So we're on to the next play. And I just want the end zone, so I'm going to click on just the end zone here. Eyes first on Patrick. I'm sorry, on Fairchild at left guard. Tried an inside move. He's got help from Ted Karras. But as the help comes, I like that Patrick says, okay, let me just make sure over here we don't got something going on that I need to help out Orlando Brown Jr. But you've got Drew Sampler already chipping over there and helping on that side. We've got a chip on this side. So we're helping both tackles here. And then we've got 3 versus 2 on the inside. So this should be a nice, clean, easy protection for everyone on this offensive line. Burrow's got a beautiful pocket. No reason for Burrow to miss this throw, to be honest with you. I'd like to see T catch that because that's what T does, and T just got paid. But at the same time, Burrow missed that one, and he would say that himself. So nothing really there to note for Fairchild other than he looks aware as a rookie, which is great. On to Lucas Patrick right here. He's going to get the more one-on-one situation here versus 96. As 96, we've got to read that run first because we're bringing Chase Brown across, which is why you want play action on so many of these plays. And then right there is when we got looks like a two-hand swipe potentially from 96. Patrick's got his one hand locked in there, but I would say if that was a better rusher, Patrick probably loses that ugly at the end there. Now Burrow's already getting the ball off, so whatever, but I could see why that wouldn't be positively graded. Amarius Mims out here versus 0. He's going to give up that outside. Now, does he do it on purpose? When you talk to tackles, they know when their chip help is coming. So if you're going to lose to the outside because Chase Brown is coming, and bang. And then as long as you can get rebalanced and get back on your feet and be in front of Burrow, you're doing your job. So we will take that out of all those guys. If I'm being a little critical of them, it's just because we're in evaluation mode. When the season comes, it's about executing and getting the playoff, which they did there. But while we're looking for improvements or competition, good get off by both guards here, especially for a rookie and a guard that's rotating in and has played center. So maybe that's why the cadence he's been in sync with Burrow. But good get off for pass protection going wide this time. And first eyes on Fairchild. Looks like 95 is going to try to go inside where he has Ted Karras. Does Fairchild check? He does. Again, Fairchild checks to make sure, do I need to help out Orlando Brown Jr.? And this ball comes out versus that cover 2. It looked like live. I actually didn't watch the coverage on that one now that I remember. But let's go eyes into Lucas Patrick. So good job by Fairchild, but again, easy assignment because he had Karras with him. Now we're in on Lucas Patrick, number 62. Oh, nice move, 96. 96 is giving him a little side to side and a swipe. I mean, if this is a really good athlete, he's going to get a hit on Burrow, and he pretty much does. That's a clean loss for Lucas Patrick right here. Yeah, you don't want that. His feet look tied up, especially in pass pro. People are like, oh, he's giving up a sack in a year. He didn't give up a sack all year. This is a sack if Burrow wasn't absolute godlike in terms of his mental processing. So Amarius Mims now. The massive right tackle. We still got this stance with Orlando Brown, by the way. So that wasn't changed with Scott Peters, which is nice to see. Everyone looks like they're in their normal stances, but from the guys we know, Karras, Mims, and Brown. All right, so we've got, looks like Zero's going to try and punch inside. He was trying to punch and then release around the corner. So this is when you're like Mims to be a little bit more physical. Like that shouldn't have knocked him off. That was kind of a weak. That's an interesting move to try and just shimmy, punch his chest, and then try and run around him. The ball gets off. Tackles have the ability to allow that outside corner to go because Burrow would just step up in the pocket. But interesting play. I would like to have seen if that ball wasn't out so quickly, how that would have went for Mims. All right, moving on to the next play here. Eyes on Patrick first. Bringing in Yoshi to potentially block here. And we're running it. And let's eyes back on Fairchild. If I say Patrick, I'm sorry. Fairchild. He's going to have help from Ted Karras. I assume Karras is now going to climb and get to the second level, whether he's getting Trotter or not. Let's see. Nope, they're going to keep driving 95 until Karras gets to Trotter. Yes, so there we go. So let's keep our eyes on Fairchild here and see. He's got this guy in retreat. He's got him. He's got to protect himself there as Lucas Patrick ends up dumping someone. Let's see what Lucas Patrick did on this play. Go back to the beginning. Lucas Patrick right here. He's got 96. Does he get the win here in run blocking? Okay, he's going to stab and throw that shoulder into the rib cage of 96 to try and pass him off to Amarius Mims. Now he's going to go get 42, who's the other linebacker. And arms wrapped around him, but you know what? 42 does a good job trying to disengage. Patrick just stayed with him. I like the nastiness out of Patrick there. You stayed with him, dragging him right across his face while he's on the ground. All right, Amarius Mims, we need improvement of Mims in year 2 as a run blocker. You should be much more powerful. So let's see it. Take 96 and get him out of there. We'll take it. You hold him up just long enough, mostly because Patrick. I think Patrick did a great job on that rep. Again, a couple solid runs so far. You get 4 yards on a first down run, we will take that. We'd like 5, but I think those 2 runs we had, one was 4, one was 5. So, I mean, you're taking that all day long. Eyes on Fairchild. He's going to pull. Little fun thing here. Is this a run play? We can all play the guessing game. Is this a run? It is not a run. Ball comes out, screen to Jamar Chase. Makes a guy miss. First down. Go back though. I want to see, is this an RPO or is it a package play where Burrow gets to choose based on this guy? More than likely, that's what it looks like. I don't know. The way they're standing straight up makes me think they're not actually run blocking. But if it was an RPO, a run pass option, you're reading this defender and he comes in this way, yeah, I'm throwing this out. But just the way the O-line's run blocking there, that makes me unconvinced. It's the only guy that went to the second level. Maybe that's by design. Maybe that's a new wrinkle to their RPO game. Only one that went to the second level there was Drew Sample at tight end, which he can because he is an eligible receiver. Under center. Eyes on Fairchild first. Play action. I should have did the guessing game again. All right, so Fairchild doesn't have anyone. He sees Karras has a guy one-on-one. He's going to come back in and help Karras out, bump that guy inside and stay with him, and they're going to dump him down. So we will take that. What a beautiful catch by Jamar Chase, right? Absolutely insane. We'll take that out of Fairchild. Again, he hasn't had hard blocks yet. So PFF grades absolutely loved him. I thought he did his job very well, executed at a high level. Dan Pitcher said, we need that every day. So there must be some executions that, as he's rookie. So maybe there's some that they're not completely happy with. But in this game, he executed well. Eyes on Lucas Patrick at right guard now. You just got to hold up in this pass protection as first you got to make it kind of like a run. So you got to make that early contact and then just set your butt down. You saw it drop right there and anchor. Very good job. 96 giving him trouble. 61 does not look like the same caliber of athlete. Lucas Patrick did his job. And if you're wondering there, Mims did as well. I could go back, but he didn't have anything to do. I was kind of watching both as it was happening because it's play action. It's why we keep saying more play action, more play action. We want this play action because it really neutralizes the offense or the defensive line in the pass rush. Eyes on, quick snap here, eyes on Dylan Fairchild, who sets to the outside. Does his job very, very well. I want to watch that one again. Robinson try to go. Yeah, so he tries to go for the bull rush right down the middle. Fairchild does a good job resetting his arms. Even though he never really gets a hold with that right hand, he's kind of swimming and reaching for it. And he's never really able to get a good hold there, but Burrow dumps this one down. I believe this goes to Chase Brown for a nice play. Let's Lucas Patrick next. We'll finish the play once we get there. Lucas Patrick sees the twist coming on the outside. Is Zero's going to work his way back in. Good job seeing it, making sure Karras has his guy first. Go in, lock up Zero. He is in his hands. That's a couple times now. That linebacker he had that one on that run play, and now on this pass play, his arms to the outside. You make it called for that. If that guy could actually stress you out a little bit, they look like Zero. Just his legs were dead on contact. All right, eyes on Amarius Mims. As he sees this, all right, let me get to 96. Easy job for Mims. Now this ball is out to Chase Brown. Cam Grandy out there helped lay in a block, and Chase, did he score? That looks like the Cowboys game. Yeah, I talked about this on the other episode. All right, eyes back on Dylan Fairchild as this first drive comes to a close. We are again got a dual block with Orlando Brown Jr. This looks like an actual run. By the way, Ted Karras is coming up to the second level. Chase Brown has the ability to be patient here and bounce out and then cut it back behind Fairchild for a modest gain. There wasn't much there because there was so many defenders in the box here. I mean, you got your 4D linemen, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You're bringing 9 guys into the box. It is tough. It's either bounce this outside and beat this guy here, which I don't mind that, or string out the linebackers in that second level. You could have potentially got 3 guys out here. Good job by T. Higgins doing the dirty work here. And if Lucas Patrick didn't lose his rep, Chase might be able to bounce this back or, cut it up through here. But Lucas Patrick appears to have lost this one. Eyes on Fairchild to just finish this off as he and Orlando Brown Jr. are climbing up and trying to get to 42. Smeal Mondin. And again, Fairchild does his job before getting punched in the mouth and thrown back. Never falls to the ground, though. There's some wrestling background for you. Eyes on Lucas Patrick at right guard here. Well, how does he lose to 96 on this? Oh, man. With the arm over. Yikes. 96. He's made quite a few nice plays here. Yeah, he's the one that's a bad loss. That's 2 bad losses for Lucas Patrick on this first drive. I want to go back to Amarius Mims. Let's see what his job was here as he's again on the backside of this play. See, I want him to drive that guy out of there. Zero is like neutralizing Mims' power. Mims should be stronger than this, more powerful than this. Next play. Eyes on Dylan Fairchild. We'll start there. T. Higgins in motion. Burrow in the shotgun. So this is the play where Burrow had to break, and this is the play I said that looked like, oh, Burrow's ready to go. So Robinson takes the outside, and Drew Sample trips over his feet, which allows Fairchild to really, you see his arm, his hand usage looks so much better. Watch his hands. Just watch Fairchild's hands here. As he gets swiped away, now he's only got a left there and it's not touching anything. Get back that right hand. He looks really long. Like that was flash of a right hand to punch and grab that shoulder and really neutralized. I think that's Robinson. I'm going to keep calling him Robinson, but really neutralized him and almost forced Robinson back into coverage. And then Burrow's going to break this pocket, go back. Mims has a pancake here. We've got a penalty on Lucas Patrick as Burrow finds Jamar Chase behind him. So when Burrow's like, oh, it was average day, he's probably thinking of these plays. Like, I could probably, my accuracy could probably be a little bit better on a couple of these throws. Eyes on Lucas Patrick. Let's see what happened here. He got called for a tripping, I want to say. So he's going to help out with Karras on 96. He's going to see, okay, 0 definitely has the inside path on Mims. I should go over and help out Amarius. Oh, geez. He didn't. Did he trip? He may have tripped. Did he trip over Karras? And then just dives at this guy's legs. That's how Mims got the pancake. Let's eyes on Mims. Mims gets out. Oh, he thought this guy's going outside. So he goes to punch outside, leaves his chest wide open. You don't want that. If you want to make a big guy weak, you hit him in the chest while his arms are wide like that. And now he's got that inside path. And he would have beaten Mims to the inside if Fairchild didn't come, or if Patrick didn't come over and help him out. And that's why Mims got the pancake. So you could say that was a potential loss for Amarius Mims. I wouldn't say you're wrong. You can't give that chest up like that and open up that inside direct path to the quarterback. I'd much rather earlier when I said, that's kind of you can run him around the arc. I'd much rather have him run the guy around the arc. Eyes on Dylan Fairchild, 63 versus 93 potentially. Is this the guy that's replacing Milton Williams? We got a stunt. Okay, good pickup between the two. Good pickup. A lot of times what Volson was wrong for on stunts and pickups with Orlando Brown Jr. is he would either, and I think this is a big issue with Frank Pollock, he would either set here, or if he was set up here like Fairchild is, he would end up chasing that guy a couple steps and be out of position, and 48 would just dive inside and be past Volson. But you see right there, both guys in great position. Eyes, no one's shocked here. Fairchild's not shocked. Passes that off directly to Fairchild, and then Orlando Brown Jr. is going to kick out and get his hands on his guy. So good. Executing again, high level for Fairchild between his teammates. He's taking all the first team reps at left guard. He should look like this. Maybe not all rookies do, but they're high on him. They're excited about Fairchild and his potential. Eyes on Lucas Patrick now going against 96. 96 been beating him up a little bit today. Goes for the outside move, and then they got a twist as well. I think Patrick does a good job here. He's trying to tie up Patrick. So you can see they're kind of going to get an arm lock here. If I can lock his arm and ride him just enough, maybe 0 can get back inside. Nothing there. Eyes on Mims as well here if you weren't already. Easily handles this. It's not 0, it's 50 this time. Mims gets out there. He looks so agile for a big dude. It's really his agility and footwork and balance more than it is his raw power. That's impressive. He's strong because he's big. He is not nasty and overly physical. If he was, that's probably how he gets to the next level. All right, Fairchild again, left guard. 93, looks like he's going to go inside here. Yes, he does, leaving Fairchild really with nothing there, but does his job, passes it off to Karras. He's even peeking back to his left. Do I need to help out? No, eyes back inside to Karras just to make sure he's there. So Fairchild looks very heady so far. He looks like a center. That's what centers look like typically, which is I say that with a compliment. It's a compliment to say that. And then now Patrick going against 61 here. 61 is no challenge for him. You see the level of difference in play here. Patrick looks completely in control when he's going against that guy. Amarius Mims now against 50. We're getting to some of the third stringers for the Eagles. Mims gets out there quick and so balanced. He's got his hands on the wrist here. Let's see if he can help control that. Yes, he does. That guy never gets that two-hand punch on you. Yeah, good job by Mims. Because they're going with like two-hand bull rush, which you don't see too often. That's a touchdown to Tanner Hudson. So we'll get the second drive now. That's it for the first drive. Second drive picking up now. Dylan Fairchild. Just reset with the circle there so we are all on the same page. Let's watch Fairchild. Once again, going against 95. 95's trying to swipe, misses. Fairchild hits the punch. Now we're going to try a rip move with 95. Fairchild's hands are locked in, so he's getting a little off balance. Let's see if he can recover. And he does. Not only does he recover there, watch him drop his butt right there and be in great position. Let that ball come out. Oh, did Burrow give me a little sidearm on that? A little sidearm action from Joey B? Yeah, through the window. To the wall. All right, Lucas Patrick. One hand out, just making sure Karras is good. All right, we're locked on 96. He's coming. Let me help out Amarius Mims. Let me look back. Is Karras good? Yep, he's still good. Let me not get in Joe Burrow's passing lane. So easy job, but he did his thing. Let's watch Amarius Mims and go through his process. Looking out. Do I have 50? Nope, 50's dropping into coverage. All right, we'll come in. We'll squeeze 96. Make sure he's no threat. Keep him at bay as well as this ball comes out to Chase Brown for a solid pickup as he's running and rumbling through potential tacklers. Love Chase Brown this year. I think he's on pace. I just hope he's healthy because, the depth is what it is. I like Taj Brooks. I like Samaje Perine for what they are. But are any of them Chase Brown? Unlikely. And I think Chase Brown could be a Pro Bowl running back this year. Eyes on Dylan Fairchild. We're under center. We got two tight ends here. It looks like we got to run this way. And I don't know which tight end that is. I would assume that's Sample that was more in line. Good job of chipping 95 inside. And now Sample's going to go get Trotter. Let's see if Fairchild can use this. One of the two is going to have to flip around and make sure they neutralize 95. So they're both going to push him. First it was Sample, neutralize him. And then it's Orlando Brown Jr., torque him inside. And now we're going to climb to the second level. So Fairchild's got to be able to set a wall here at some point. We're going to set a wall here as we climb up and allow Chase Brown to cut it back this way. So let's see if Fairchild is able to do that. Yes, he is right there. We are in great position. That is a very, very good block. He gets help, no doubt. I mean, that is the design of the play, to get Sample up there, and Sample's doing his job now as well. And then have help from Orlando Brown Jr. But then to get your hips around, because at some point he's got to get to this positioning and wall this guy off. And 95 is standing completely vertical. So that's a very good block out of Fairchild. And Chase Brown is clearing through the opening for a solid gain here. Let's see what Lucas Patrick did on this play. He's looking inside, talking with Ted, making sure they know who's coming, because 30 may be coming here. Patrick, you may have to get him. He told you he's coming. You still double checked on 96. That's all right, though. Once this guy beats you upfield, as you see, Mims did the same thing. If they beat you upfield, it's no problem because we're running this way. Only thing Patrick and Mims maybe, but it's already over. Only thing Patrick has to do is keep this positioning right there. Don't let this guy completely get it from the backside. So let's see if Patrick can. Yep, give him one more push to let that guy not cut that angle. Not that he was even in position. That's why it's nice to have a fast running back in Chase Brown there. So initially, probably could have picked number 30 up a little bit cleaner. Karras looked like he was telling him he's coming. But as long as you make him go to the outside, we're okay. Okay, we got a little check down here. Eyes back on Fairchild. A lot of guys blocking. Same formation, which kind of made me think for a second there we're on the same play. But Fairchild's going to come in with Karras. They're going to handle 61. Now he's going to come back in and get a rib shot on 95. We got three guys blocking him. 95 is neutralized. Eyes on Patrick, because it looks like he was a little stressed there on that quick 96 here. He's got that outside. Patrick's just one hand locked up right here. That one hand gets broken right there. And then Patrick is in a no man's land for that potentially coming to Burrow. Initial win, I think, from Patrick, because we got to respect the run as a defensive lineman. We got a play action here from under center, which we didn't do a lot of last year. Again, can really neutralize this front when you do this. And then a check down to Chase Brown. So eyes on Mims. Mims' guy is much wider. He's got to get out there, which he does. Now he's got locked in, one hand on the back, one hand tying up that front shoulder, and you can ride him around the arc just far enough for the check down. Mims' hands could be probably a little cleaner there. Again, I think he could be a little stronger. But we'll take that. We're under center again here. Same formation, 3 plays in a row. Interesting. And I would say we're running it just based on this initial first steps by this line. And it is. So let's eyes on Dylan Fairchild here and see as he gets 61. Karras is going to go get Jihad Campbell, 30, linebacker. We got a push inside from Orlando Brown before he goes to get Jeremiah Trotter. I would say 61 has Fairchild pretty in control here. His eyes are inside. He's got good distance between the two of them, and he's going to reach in and get his hands on Chase Brown. So I would say that's a win for the defensive lineman versus Fairchild. Let's see what Lucas Patrick deals with 96 over here. 96 going to try and run this arc around the outside here. And as long as Patrick just keeps him at that spot, that is no problem. We will take that. And then Mims here against 50, going to climb up and wall him off and move him a little bit. We will take that. Only thing we really didn't like here was Fairchild on that run, but there was a flag on the play. So was that hands to the face? I think that was the play that was illegal, hands to the face on somebody. Can't remember who it was. Don't believe it was against Fairchild though, right? All right, eyes on Fairchild here. We're in a different formation here. Going outside. Robinson's going outside. Really gets a good jump on Fairchild. Fairchild's a little off balance. Looks like his hands could have potentially lost there, but he recovers. He recovers and rides that guy out. I mean, we will take that. Let's see if he could have done anything in the beginning here. Maybe he kind of stands up and then punches. Watch him stand, punch. That's the only thing you could probably, if you watch where Patrick is, and maybe it's not the same, but Fairchild's way up here. So we could have had probably one more step to be like even with the other guard, and you probably would not get off balance and initially have that scare. Well, good job recovering and staying with it. Eyes on Lucas Patrick over here. Let's see what happens with him. I didn't see him blocking anyone when my eyes quickly went that way. Okay, I see. So he's just making sure we don't have a blitz coming here, and then he's going to kick out and get 96 and just ride him around the arc, which is the goal here. You run him like that, that guy will never affect the quarterback at all. And then eyes on Amarius Mims. Mims, again, looks like he was short setting and then catching zero here. Let's see. At zero's coming in. Yeah, he's got to make sure 96 isn't one coming. Then let me get in front of zero. Quick pass. This is more like a setup. All of them are setting up as if they're expecting the blitz here. And that's right. I remember the play now, of course, because we're going to have the unblocked guy. This must be the Chase touchdown. This must be the last play for us. Yeah, so we're sliding Karras over that way. We got help with the tight end. We got help with P. Ryan, I want to say. We got 1, 2, 3 linemen going that way and only 2 linemen on this side. Again, so we got 5 versus 3 and then 2 versus 3 over here. So the protection likely called by Burrow. Burrow and Karras, a lot of communication between the two of them. I'll see if I can go back and see if there's any talk here as they're setting up or if anyone you can really tell. Bringing him in motion. No, I don't see anything outwardly. But Burrow knows if that free guy's coming, that's up to him. And he gets that ball out. Yeah, on time, perfect time. Before, I mean, it's like the anticipation Burrow throws with to Jamar Chase, especially, is absolutely phenomenal. That's why he can do things like this. So while the grades for Dylan Fairchild were really high from PFF, and I thought he played well, I thought his assignments were mostly easy. I thought Lucas Patrick had the harder assignments many times, and he paid for it. he had a terrible game and got beat multiple times by a backup in number 96. Probably should look at the guy's name, but I know he's a backup. Mims is going to look like this a lot, where it's just easy for him because he's so big and athletic and balanced and never really gets stressed out. You can probably count on your hand last year 5 times he even looked stressed on film, individual plays. He just goes through the motions. He's just bigger than everyone. He's more athletic than most guys. It's just a different game to watch him than it is to watch Lucas Patrick or Dylan Fairchild. Fairchild, who you can see his hand usage has gotten so much better than when we last saw him at Georgia, which is what we were saying. How fast can he get it? How fast can they teach it? If that's a sign of the ability of Scott Peters, that's a good sign. That's a very good sign, strong sign for the Bengals to be able to develop and get their offensive linemen and get this offensive line in 2025 where it needs to be. But is right guard going to still be a thorn in their side? I hope we get Jalen Rivers next week at guard. I hope there's an answer out there, maybe in free agency. I would still go for it. We've got a lot to talk about. That'll mostly come in the next episode or on Twitter at Joe Goodberry. Guys are getting injured. Bengals got to make decisions. Safety room doesn't look so great right now after Geno Stone came off in about 3 plays. And then we got like Jermaine Burton that apparently has an injury. There's a couple others. Howard Cross is getting first team reps at defensive tackle. McKinley Jackson was out there in the 4th quarter. I think I know why. And we will watch his film on Friday's episode of Bengals on the Brain, presented by First Star Logistics. Until next time, Houday.